Disclaimer: everything that is discussed, posted is strictly for educational and historical purposes only. It does not promote nor condone illegal activities. Southern Pacific's Kennels, CH Lil Red 3XW. Lil Red was born in February 13, 2008. She was bred by Rancherita Kennels by Bean Out Tsunami. Rancherita called me one day and told she had a gift for me. She told me what it was and I was very pleased, but I took a while before I went and pick up the pup. About 6 months later she called me and told me to come and get her because they were fight crazy and she could no longer keep them together. When we brought her home I could not believe how strong and determined this bitch was. Sometime later we were trying to get a real inbred little gator dog started with one of my favorite bitch, my negrita bitch, when this pup behind me was going crazy, so much so that she pissed me off something awful. I said, okay bitch, let's see if you are for real. Well, she was for real alright. She got Negrita by the front leg and would not let her go. After some time later, we had a few dogs from TXT at the house and they had an inbred game Jane bitch. They were high on and I decided to roll my 8-month-old pup for real. Well, she started screaming from the time she saw the square, and when we took her away about 7 or 8 minutes later she was still screaming for more. After a few more rolls, I decided that if I did not match her I was going to ruin this special animal. I called Rancherita and told her what I was about to do and she told me, go ahead, I trust your judgment. I started looking and a friend of mine told me about this guy's dirt town that had a bitch that had whipped one of Golden State Bulldog's dog real bad. I told him to hook it up. We met and got all the details ironed out. The match was to take place in March, which made Red 13 months. Everything went well. She worked like a horse, smart, willing, everything you want. Except the last night prior to the show she got out of her keep house and ate half a bag of Nutro Max puppy dog food and decided to play with my kids' toys. God only knows for how long. The next morning I go in my garage and I couldn't believe my eyes. She was almost 3 pounds over the weight and it wasn't water weight. I gave her some Dexa and colon cleanser, which I won't say how much, but enough to make a horse shit all day. I called Buitre Farm and told him what was going on. He called them and they said as long as she is a quarter over we are doing it. I said I know I can do it. Well, she took 2 big dumps in the crate on the way to the place, which Buitre couldn't believe the way I was driving, but I needed bowel movement and I got it. We went in and everything went well. We were both on weight and the show was on. For the first 15 minutes that bitch was throwing us around like a rag, but Red started to get in the throat real deep and the other one started to slow down. At 26 minutes, she took the count. After the match we were working on her, when she threw up chewed up military man toys. I thought for sure we are going to lose her, but thanks to God she made through and it was time to move to the next one. I had promised Rancherita that I would make Bean Rom before he died and Red was the best candidate. VIP, and I decided to put a big show in November 2009 in Baja. Since I was already living there I said this is perfect. We got hooked into Chuco's Kennels of Texas. This was Red's easiest match, not because the opponent was easy but because my good buddy and partner Vinny Black did a wonderful job conditioning and their dog didn't have enough to keep Red out. She got to her favorite hold at will. Then Chucos decided pick his bitch at 42 minutes mark. I must mention that they brought 2 dogs that night and they both lost, but they were in great shape and it was a pleasure to go into them. After this match, I took Red back to Rancherita, brought her sister Jelly Bean and her dam back to get her bred to my Yoshi dog and get Jelly Bean schooled. Unfortunately Red was kept in a kennel with bars and she went on to lose all her teeth and was only left with one bottom cutter. We put another show and decided to enter Red for her championship and I didn't want to push over, so we got hooked into one of the toughest men in Mexico, if not the world, Mr. Magana. I told everybody that if she got in trouble I would pick her up in a heartbeat. For this match a newcomer friend of mine turned bull kennel did the conditioning under my watchful eye. I was moving and didn't have the place to do the conditioning. The bitch he brought was a hard driving dog, but no real mouth. After 8 to 10 minutes I could see this bitch could not hurt us, although we couldn't hold her out. I knew eventually Red was gonna get to that throat and even the score. Well, at the 50 minutes mark, he decided to pick his entry up, making Red a champion. I was so excited, I jumped in the pit, grabbed her and took her straight to the vet we had at the site. Some people claimed I jumped before the ref had officially declared the winner, but Mr. Magana, being the dogger he is, said no, she won and that's it. While in the care of the vet, Mr. Magana went over to see her because he had heard of her lack of hardware. When I showed him, he was in disbelief of how this bitch had pulled it off. Lil Red is an exceptional dog and comes from an exceptional dog, Rancheritas Bean Rum. This whole litter was match quality. In the same show, Red won her championship. Her brother lost dead game, earning GIS award. In future issues, I will give the story of my champion Piolo 3XW dog, also off of Bean, and his amazing brother TXT's Chambuco for XW. I would like to thank all those involved with this amazing little bitch. I could promise that from now on she will never have a tooth in her, and hopefully her offsprings are as good as her. Well, there you have it, folks, the story of Southern Pacific's Kennels, CH Lil Red 3XW.